Why hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as Lego Dude 11, and in today's video, this is my official Barbie spoiler review. Yes, there's a spoiler review for the Barbie movie. I'm a little late, but without further ado, let's discuss. Okay, so without further ado, a little bit of housekeeping for you today. Got my list of notes that I typically always take down, and in the case for today, I do. And I did have a vlog, a very new, interesting type of vlog by my near and dear vlogs with my friends. My last one with my high school, I almost said college friends, or my high school friends, my lifelong high school friends. Known them for church friends, high school church friends, and you can check that out that vlog right up there with my best friend Michael. They've seen and gone and seen movies with. We went to Panera afterwards and saw the Barbie movie, so you can see a little bit of our food vlog there, and click that card right up there. But yes, I cannot wait for college to vlog more with some new friends that I make, and also have a couple of my friends come up and see Dune. So that's another story for another time. But let's get to Barbie. So, this was a crazy movie. Like I talked about in my vlog, we have no idea what we watched. And I want to be specific with my thoughts here, because I always talk about the soundtrack and stuff. But first, like I said, I want to say, I don't know what we watched, like, as in, it was funny. It wasn't like Secret Invasion, where I ranted about Marvel. I'm ranting about Marvel these days now, because I don't know what they're doing. I love Marvel to death, but I don't know what happened in Secret Invasion, because I was watching Secret Invasion, the finale, idiotically, but I didn't think Barbie was stupid. I thought Barbie had some sense into it, but still being, it's not cringy, but funny weird. Okay? Okay. So let's actually start. So the songs in this movie, there was a soundtrack, but there wasn't really a connection to where I had, like, John Williams, Michael Giacchino, Hans Zimmer, etc., Alan Silvestri, etc., the list goes on and on. I didn't feel like there was a score for this soundtrack, or there was a score for this movie, but it didn't feel like, when the names were popping up on the screen, it said music by so-and-so, but I didn't really hear a background soundtrack, and maybe there was. But I've tried to find it on YouTube, and I've yet to find one. All I can find are the main songs, which aren't bad, but let's talk about that. So, there's a song by Lizzo, Billie Eilish, that pops up in the end. Barbie Girl, which also was in the main credits, which I was jamming to. My friend's like, no, I don't need to see you dancing, Spencer. So I didn't dance. I tried to dance, but I didn't. The main song, Dance the Night, which I love, is so catchy. And Just Ken, which is great. I'm Just Ken, which is a great dance number. And then the other one by Lizzo, or I think it was the main song in the beginning, like the Barbie song playing, like, oh, hey, I'm Barbie, blah, 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 hi, Barbie. And so, yeah, I mean, they're great songs. Great songs throughout the movie that are catchy. I feel like I'm comparing this a lot to the Lego movie. I don't know why, like the humor and the funky weirdness. But I feel like the songs are just a bit as catchy as the Lego movie, maybe just a little not. But like, I feel like as I was watching this, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of getting in the groove and stuff. Like, I feel like the Lego movie kind of has like that pop flair. This kind of has the same element. A little bit for girls. Like, I'm a little bit in the element. If I want to get right on that segue there, how I felt. There's a character in this film played by Michael Cera, one of the great actors. Love Michael Cera. Scott Pilgrim is one of my favorite films of all time, in my top 10 films of all time. And if you feel judgmental that way, comment in the comments below and say, oh, I hate Scott Pilgrim, or oh, I love Scott Pilgrim, I'm with you, or be in a different tone of voice, oh, I love Scott Pilgrim, yay. But I really like seeing Michael Cera in another role. I think he works in this film. I have no idea who the Alan person is. I'm going to have to look that up after I make this review, but I sporadically just got in my house and made this review without words. But yeah, seeing Michael Cera as Alan was great, and I totally relate to his character. I totally feel like I'm him. Like, I'm not a feminist, but I feel like in the middle, like, I feel like my emotions, like, come out a lot. So I definitely related to Alan a lot, and Michael Cera's character. So we got huge names. By the way, I don't know what it is with this film and Oppenheimer, but we got a lot of great actors. It's crazy. So we have in this film, I'm not talking about Oppenheimer now, sorry. You go watch my review on that one. But I'll put a card up there. We got Issa Rae, who was just Spider-Woman in Across the Spider-Verse. We got Kingsley Ben-Adir, who's Gravik in Secret Invasion. Michael Cera, as I mentioned. We got John Cena as a mermaid. Spoilers, by the way. John Cena's in this freaking movie. Obviously, Margot Robbie's who Harley Quinn. Ryan Gosling. Shang-Chi, Simu Liu. You have young Gamora, who's the main daughter of the film. The mom looks so recognizable, I didn't even bother to look her up at the end. But anyway, just stellar cast. And everybody plays... Excuse me as I rub myself. But I was fathomed by this cat. I use that word again. I was astonished by this cast. And the characters are great. And Will Ferrell as the president, head of Mattel, is great. I love seeing Will Ferrell in another role. Again, comparison to the Lego Movie. It doesn't mean that everything Will Ferrell is in, I'm comparing to the Lego Movie. I'm comparing this film to the Lego Movie. And I have no idea what it is. I don't know if it's toys. I don't know if it's because Will Ferrell's in it. I don't know if it's because it's so, oh my gosh, and wow-inducing, like the charm. I don't know what it is. But the characters are great. We have the Kens, we have the Barbies, we have Alan, we have Will Ferrell's character, we have Mattel's company. By the way, I think the way, anyway, that's my next segue. This is my next segue. I love the characters, but the plot of this film, as me and my friend were discussing in our vlog, he's like, I didn't really know that this film was going to have like a plot to it, because in the trailer you see that she has to go to the real world, which makes sense, but he just thought, when he was telling me, he thought, oh, well, this film isn't going to have... It's going to be like more of like a journey with Barbie and Ken, their shenanigans in the real world. And I kind of like that idea. Or I thought that was a sensible thought. But then, as the movie goes on, it's like kind of transitions. Not a big twist, but transitions where Ken has his own storyline, and it's kind of does a flip on you. And it's like, huh. Kind of like... And then Barbie World is in trouble because Ken has done some stuff, and it's kind of weird. And my favorite moment is when Ken has this, like, Ken's Mojo Dojo, Casa Dojo Mojo House or something. It's funny as heck. It's so funny. But again, don't get me wrong, I loved everything, and then Ken brainwashes all the Barbies, and I had no issue with this whatsoever, but then Mattel... When Barbie and Ken get to the real world, and Ken has this, like, moment where, like, oh, men rule the world, or men do all this sort of stuff, certain stuff, and he goes back to the Barbie land, Barbie world, and, like, rearranges how things work because main Barbie's gone. So he does all this stuff and manipulates and brainwashes the Barbies. It's hilarious, and I loved it. And I don't know if my friend initially, or Michael, really dug it or not. I think he had a good time with the film, but he didn't know what to make of it as, like, what he thought. I'm sure, this is just my theory, and I might have to message him on this, that maybe his expectations got the best of him. And I have no idea, because sometimes I go into a Marvel movie, or any movie in general, and leave my expectations at the door and just go, I'm going to be ready for whatever movie this is. And I think that's what I did here. And I didn't really have any preconceived notion of, oh, this is just going to be a fun movie with Barbie and Ken doing some shenanigans. And not to say that if you thought that, like my friend, like you could like the film, but I don't know. I don't know what his thoughts were on it. I should have asked him. But I'm going to move along because I think the plot was good. Like, I like the brainwashing element. When Barbie gets into there's certain moments in here, like, where when Will Ferrell asks her to get into the box, it was like, no, don't get in the box. Or when he wants her to get in the box, and she's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And she's like, you know what? I gotta go to the bathroom first. And he's like, okay, make it quick. And so she runs off and, like, just escapes. Tries to escape the Mattel building. I thought that moment was great. I thought the whole movie was great. I think, I don't want to say great. I'm skipping to my rating here at the end, but I think that moment was great. I think there's certain moments that are great, but the whole movie is just a fun Barbie movie. But I love that escape moment. I love the car chase scene. And, just so many things. Like the dancing scene in the beginning and the beach off. I'll beat you off right now, Ken. And the Ken's doing stuff. The Just Ken dance is so funny. It just is so perfect. It just, I don't think this is a perfect, great movie. I think it's a perfect Barbie movie. There. I think it's a fun, perfect Barbie movie, but it's not my top 10. As I get ahead of myself in the rating. But I think there's two things I want to mention first before I get to the White Matters. But the humor of this film, I think, really works for me. As I said before, I don't think it's in my top 10, but I think this humor, or it doesn't matter if it's in my top 10, but the humor really works for me on this level. One, I gotta mention another thing. About a woman. Can't you tell I'm not a woman? Not a female. But the film Turning Red really works for me on a couple levels. One, well, actually I don't know the reason. I just like the film Turning Red for the message it has with the base of the family and the girls and the mother-daughter relationship. But what this film does is I don't even know what the message was, but I'm going to get to the message later. But the humor worked for me on the level of, I don't necessarily relate to that, but I find it funny. Kind of like how I love Deadpool humor, and I love Lego Movie humor. I mean, again, I'm comparing it to Lego Movie, but there's humor that works in there in the Lego Movie that I think kind of goes over kids' heads. But I think in this movie, which it's definitely going to go over kids' heads because it's PG-13 or not PG, or it might be, it's PG-13 for sure. But it's not PG, like actually for kids, that jokes are going to go over their heads. But whereas this is actually going to go over kids' heads, like Lego Movie jokes go over kids' heads. But in some jokes in the Lego Movie kids get. But this, however, I think all the jokes are going to go over kids' heads because it's mostly adult references. But for me, I was laughing because I'm like, oh wow, I understood that reference. Or, oh, that was an adult joke. I actually understood that. But I think it worked for me, like, where Lego Movie, again, I'm comparing it, but I think it's like, oh, well, this works in a Barbie movie as opposed to any other movie would. So, there's that for you. I thought it worked, and I didn't feel like it was cringe-inducing. There was a moment in there where they mentioned something about capitalism and, like, feminism and do a lot of those types of things, and I was looking at my friend, like, going, I laughed at, oh, this was the joke. I'm so sorry. But you're probably like, what? Why is he getting so, like, riled up? I need to message my friend after this. This was the joke. There was a joke that me and my friend laughed hysterically at because they mentioned communism. They don't mention anything about communism. They mentioned capitalism and feminism and stuff like that, right? And we were looking at, like, there was a bunch of women jokes, and we were like just chuckling, like, okay, this isn't what would really happen in the real world, but we laughed at it because it made sense in the film. The other funny thing was they mentioned something about Jewish. All my friends are Jewish. I forget who said it, but it was so funny, and it made zero sense logically. It was like, oh, my friend, like, because they're talking about, like, how, like, Barbies and Kens and, like, what males do and what females do, and it was like, oh, my friends are Jewish, and I was like, but that had nothing to do with being a guy or a girl, being a Ken, being a Barbie. It was just, it wasn't a stupid writing decision, but it was such a funny, idiotic, it was illogical, irrelevant joke in the moment. It just was, it kind of fit perfectly, but it made no sense at the same time. And I think that's what makes this movie so ridiculously funny, is why that joke, but at the same time, I'm laughing. That's what makes it interesting. I don't know. But there's that for you. And I gotta go on to why this film matters. I don't know. Why does any film matter? But really, at the end of the day, I'm trying to make some sort of connection here. As again, I could compare it to Lego Movie, but I don't really want to, because I've done that enough. Like, why do Transformers films matter? That's a good example. Like, why do they matter? Why does that franchise matter so much? Why do Fast and the Furious films matter, huh? Oh, why do they go to space? I don't know. Why is there so many? Why after Transformers 1 did they do so many dumb adult references? Like, I'm not gonna say something inappropriate in this video, but, you know, why so many inappropriate dumb Michael Bay jokes, like, after another, throughout many films? And then we get Transformers Rise of the Beast, that's not a Michael Bay film, that's really different and fun. It's not the best Transformers movie, that goes to Bumblebee, but it's right after that. I don't know. I think this film works on a different toy movie, again, after Lego Movie, after Transformers, And Sonic the Hedgehog is a video game. We got some great video game movies like Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog. We got 2 Sonic the Hedgehog movies. Well, now we have this. If they can present more to us, like Mario movie, I don't want to see. I don't want that to be the last Mario movie, the first and only. I want to see more. I want to see more Nintendo stuff. I'm not saying we need a freaking franchise like to connect it like Marvel, but at least we get more Mario movies. We're going to get a third Sonic the Hedgehog. Bring another Mattel movie, whether it's Barbie, whether it's hell. We gotta end credit scenes from Transformers: Rise of the Beast. That was a G.I. Joe reference. Bring more of that. Bring a G.I. Joe thing. I know we got Snake Eyes, but bring a connected. Well, I don't need to all be connected, but bring a Transformers with G.I. Joe thing. War. Bring a Transformers and G.I. Joe war or connected thing. Please do something like that. Another Barbie movie. And I'm not saying like we need an epic franchise. I'm just saying it would be fun. Like, why do these movies matter? I don't know. And again, in our vlog, my friend was like, I don't know what this movie meant. I don't know if I like this movie or not. But heck, I'd take anybody to see this movie. This is not, at the end of the day, this is how I feel. After watching Quantumania, I enjoyed the goofiness of Quantumania, but I'd go back to see the Barbie movie over Quantumania. That's how I feel. And I don't really have a reason as to why it matters. I just think it's a fun Barbie movie. The message of this movie, I'm not really sure what the message was. I think it was to relate towards like girls. Kind of how the Lego movie. I'm gonna tie this in. But I'm gonna tie this Lego movie in one more time. But the Lego movie 1 kind of deals with fathers and sons. Okay. Turning Red deals with mothers and daughters. Okay. Lego movie 2 deals with mothers and siblings. Right? Like there's a mother in there, the Armageddon, and the sibling relationship. But this is trying to target girls and women all around. And guys can watch it too. Like, I watched it and I thought that, like, there's Will Ferrell, there's the Kens in there. I like seeing that. I really thought this film worked on a, it's a fun Barbie movie. I don't know. The message was weird towards the end, like why Barbie becomes a human. That's the main thing I'm left wondering. But I think it was to get us to realize that Barbie can be whatever she wants us to be. And that's sort of the message I'm going with. So maybe I got something wrong out of it, and maybe that's the right message. Maybe it's the right message. Maybe you have a different interpretation. I don't know. That's my thoughts on the rating. I'm gonna give it is I don't want to be too extreme, but yet too negative, and I'm gonna give it a. You know what? I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Why not? You know, I swear, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I'm going to leave it 2 spots for just some random crap in there. I don't know what the 2 spots are I'm leaving it off are. But I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 because I didn't fully think it was the best movie of the year. So there, it's an 8 out of 10. I don't want to be overly strong because I don't know why the 2 spots I'm leaving it off are. But that's how I feel. So yeah, there's that. If you want to, leave a comment below and let me know, like, and we can talk about why I loved it so much. Again, I think my friend didn't like it as much as me. I think he definitely liked it more than Quantumania because he hated that film. But I, as I said to him and as I said earlier, this is a fun Barbie movie. It's not great, like it's going to make my top 10, but it's a fun Barbie movie. So it's like squished right underneath my top 10 for sure. At the end of the year, it's not going to make my top 10. But giving it an 8 out of 10, I think deserves that rating because if I give it a 6 out of 10, people will be like, oh, you hate the movie. Oh, because I don't think it's in the middle. I don't think it's a 6. I don't think it's a 7. I could have given it a 7. But I feel like I made Indiana Jones and Elemental both 7s out of 10, so I feel like it's higher than those. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for the Barbie movie. Let me know if you've seen it. It's been out for a little while now. So let me know if you've seen it, what you thought. I cannot wait to tell my other friends that have seen this movie. Like a couple friends that have seen it. Finally. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me over at Boba Fett Journey Master. Links down below. And as always, I'm just Ken. Not really. My name's Spencer. Don't forget to leave a like down below. Subscribe. And keep calm and play Lego and watch content. Peace out. Bye, everyone.